Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our SWAC football head coaches media session for Monday, September 22nd. Beginning at approximately 10:05, we'll be joined by Alabama A&M head coach Sam Shade. 10:15. Welcome to our SWAC football head coaches media session for Monday, September. 10:15, we'll be joined by Coach Eddie Robinson with Alabama State. He'll be followed by Coach Cedric Thomas at Alcorn State at 10:25. At 10:35, we'll be joined by Coach Woody with Bethune-Cookman. 10:45, we'll have Coach Colsey with Florida A&M join us. At 10:55, we'll be joined by Coach Mickey Joseph with Grambling State. To apologize, we will have a change to the schedule for Coach Joseph today. He will be joining us at 12:15 due to a conflict with a press conference that they have for the State Fair Classic. So Coach Joseph's time slot will be adjusted to 12:15. Coach Hampton with Arkansas Pine Bluff will join us at 11:05. Coach Buckley with Mississippi Valley State will be at 11:15. Coach Tremaine Jackson with Prairie View A&M will be at 11:25. Coach Terrence Graves with Southern University will be at 11:35. Coach Chris Dishman with Texas Southern will be at 11:45, and Coach T.C. Taylor with Jackson State will be at 11:55. And we do have one additional change. That will be for Coach Tremaine Jackson with Prairie View A&M. His time slot will be at 12:05. So he'll be at 12:05. Coach Joseph will follow him at 12:15. So we'll have a little bit of a delay between our coaches. But we will get them with us as soon as they wrap up the State Fair Classic press conference. Just quick updates before we get started. If you do have questions for our coaches, we ask you please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. Please limit your questions to one initial question. If you see several questions, they're already in the queue. If we have additional time, we'll circle back to get additional questions answered. Please ensure that your lines are actively muted unless you are asking a question, and please wait to be acknowledged and called upon prior to asking your question. We'll begin in approximately 3 minutes. We appreciate your patience. We'll be back momentarily. Thank you.
All righty.
All right, I do see that Coach Shade is with us, so we'll actually get started a couple minutes ahead of schedule. Once again, if you do have questions for Coach, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. With that being said, happy to be joined by Coach Shade with Alabama A&M. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Coach, as always, we appreciate taking time out of your schedule to join us. Coach, if you could please start us out with an opening statement recapping your team's most recent outing versus Lane.
Yes, our last game on Saturday against Lane College started off kind of slow in the first quarter, but picked it up in the second and third quarter, and ended up being able to win the game 49-7, and had a pretty good outing.
Appreciate those comments, Coach. First question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Coach Shade, congrats on the win. Bulldog Nation is celebrating once again with you and the team on its success.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So my questions for you this morning is, can you first tell us the status of Quad Brown and Frank Pierre and some of the other guys that were injured that didn't play on Saturday?
Well, right now, those guys are still questionable. Frank Pierre, obviously, and Quad Brown. Also, Ramir Lewis, offensive lineman for us. Same deal with all three of those guys. They're questionable right now for this weekend.
All right. Now, Coach, speaking about this weekend against Bethune-Cookman, I had the opportunity to watch them when they played Edward Waters. Talk about your thoughts about their quarterback, Cam Ransom, and also just his cohesion with Malik Huggins and how you guys see the game plan fitting against those boys.
Well, first off, I feel like Bethune-Cookman, man, they're very balanced on offense. Got two really good running backs. And also at quarterback, having Cam Ransom, he does a great job. And they also play the second quarterback some. And at the receiver position, they're playing really good football at the receiver position also. So we definitely got our work cut out for us against them from a defensive standpoint, going against their offense.
All right, Coach, good luck this weekend down there in Daytona.
All right, thank you.
Next question goes to Doc Holliday.
Coach Shay, good morning. How you doing today?
Doing well, Doc. How about you?
I'm doing good. Tell us about going into this game with Bethune-Cookman, about trying to clean up the turnovers and winning the turnover battle in the game this Saturday.
Well, that's going to be important. That's going to be very vital. They've been able to turn the football over. They actually had 4 turnovers against Edward Waters. One of them they had a pick 6 for a touchdown. So we definitely have to take care of the football in this ball game. And we pride ourselves on winning the turnover battle. And so that's something we're going to go out and try to get done on Saturday. But, it's just going to start with us protecting the football on offense and being really aggressive on defense, trying to cause turnovers.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Dr. Cavill.
This is Kenyatta Cavill. Dr. Cavill's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, Doc. How's it going?
Oh, it's pretty good, pretty good. I want to ask you holistically, essentially a third of your season has been played and was played in a non-conference format. If you would analyze that and how you're going to utilize what you view are your strengths and hiding your weaknesses to move into conference play over this long 8-game stretch.
Well, first off, we feel like our strengths are obviously, defensively. For instance, this last outing had a really good outing defensively. Didn't give up any scores. Actually, we had a pick 6 late in the ball game. In the fourth quarter to let them score. So, we got to rely on our defense and then offensively, we've got to be balanced. And that's the thing we've learned in these first 4 ball games is, when we're balanced on offense, we're able to run it and pass it. We can have some success, but we can't be one-dimensional on offense. And defensively, we got to, try to make the other team one-dimensional and stop the running game.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Perry Daniels.
Congratulations, Coach Shay.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
Coach, your defense provided you with 4 points in the first quarter. In all of your years of coaching football, have you ever been involved in a game where a defense has recorded 2 safeties in the first quarter?
Never had it happen. never close to that. Not even close. So that was big by our defense stepping up and making some plays in that first quarter for us.
Absolutely. And this Bethune-Cookman offense showed the ability to have a quick strike component to it this past weekend. How do you go about strategizing to prevent that occurrence against your squad?
Well, they're to me, they're a very balanced, high-powered offense. You look back to South Carolina State game; they had over 500 yards of offense. So this offensive group is, very balanced, and they can make plays running the ball. They can make plays passing the ball, and so it starts with us though. We've got to be able to stop the run first. So that's going to be vital for us if we're able to stop the run and try to make those guys one-dimensional where we feel like they've got to pass the ball. That's going to help us. But if we can't stop the run, I think it's that makes it really tough for us.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Currently taking questions for Coach Shade with Alabama A&M. All right, next question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Well, Coach, I'll come back and I'll ask this about our run game there. I know you had talked a lot about just the importance of getting the run game going. I know that this game against Lane probably wasn't really a good test for that, But in terms of heading into SWAC play, what do you think it'll take to get that run game to where you guys specifically need it to be?
Well, I think we've just got to, be able to get it done up front, being able to get hats on hats and get hats where they're supposed to be. And we feel like, we've got capable running backs. We really feel good about our running backs. We feel like they're all different in their styles, but all of them can make something happen with the football. But it's going to start up front for us, just being able to get hats on hats and being able to move people up front. So that's what we got to be able to get done.
All right, Coach. Appreciate that.
All right.
Any final questions for Coach? All right, Coach Shea, we sincerely appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right.
All right, we're a few minutes ahead of schedule for Coach Robinson's availability. We'll be back momentarily. Thank you for your patience. All right, once again, if you do have questions for our coaches, please utilize the raise your hand feature here on Zoom to get your question in the queue. We have several questions already in the queue, so we're going to ask you please limit your questions to one initial question. If we've got additional time allotted in our coaches' availability, we will work our way back to get additional questions answered. With that being said, we are happy to be joined by Coach Robinson with Alabama State. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. How's it going?
Doing great, Coach. And as always, Coach, we appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to join us. Coach, obviously, bye weekend for your program this past week. So if you could just start us out by recapping the bye week.
Yeah, the bye week was good. I tell the kids you can actually lose in the bye week, so I thought we did a good job of course, staying on top of academics, getting everybody healthy, those little small nicks and knacks and those type of things, and we did a great job of everybody traveling home and traveling back and being safe and getting back on time, which is always important also. And so now we have a first SWAC game, big game going down to Tallahassee to play against FAMU and Coach Cozy and those guys. So we know it's opening SWAC week for everyone. They'll be ready to play. So it's going to be a tough ball game. It'll be a 3 p.m. kickoff. So it'll be hot. It'll be tough. So physical. So we know what to expect, but we have to go down there and try to execute at a high level.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Hey, Coach. So when I was dissecting this game coming up, one glaring thing that I saw that was real interesting is you guys in FCS rankings, you guys are 21st in pass offense, 262 a game. FAMU is right behind you at 22nd with 260 per game. So I felt that was pretty interesting. But in specifics with this game itself, what's it going to take specifically for you guys to snap this 4-game losing streak against FAMU, man?
Well, I think we worried about this year. I think you have to go out there and just focus on winning today. For us, we want to be great on Monday, but more specifically about getting into the game, I think for us it's going to be control the clock. We've been scoring somewhat fast this year, and so but from a standpoint of just controlling the clock, not letting the other team control the clock, get off the field on third downs, execute at a high level, protect the football. The cliches, but in the same time, I think we just got to go out there and play a tough physical brand of football, in my opinion.
Well, Coach, this is an exciting game that a lot of people are looking forward to seeing, including me. So good luck this weekend in Tallahassee.
Appreciate it.
Next question goes to Doc Holliday.
Coach, how you doing this morning?
Doing good.
Yes. Hope the kids had a good off week. But going into this game with FAMU, how would you go ahead and try to make this a balanced offense? Also with running the football against this defense from FAMU, who is very stout when it comes to run defense this season.
Yeah, so I think we have a good group of backs. We have a good offensive line. Those guys have been playing at a high level. Cam Smith, Frazier, some of my older guys, got some young guys have been playing well. But for us, we have to run the football. I think that's it always starts there. It starts with the guys up front on both sides. But for us, if we can run the football effectively, I think it gives us a much better chance of being successful. It's just as far as controlling and managing the game.
All right, appreciate you, Coach.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Ty Miller.
Hey, Coach, good to talk to you again. How you doing?
Good. Ty, how's it going?
I'm fine. Checking the tape, what's the biggest difference you've noticed in FAMU's play from their opening season loss to Howard, taking on FAU, and then their win over Albany State 2 weeks ago?
I think, for me, I always look at the offense first, probably because I'm a defensive guy. And I think I just getting a little bit more continuity with the passing game, just knowing, you see some of the same things. So, I think that's a sign of a good team. You're starting to figure out what you do well. And I think, going into the third week, all coaches are trying to do that. You have your summer game plan of what you want to do. But once the season starts, you got to figure out, hey, what do the kids do well? And I think they're getting to that point of figuring out, hey, what plays the kids can run well. And so they'll be more efficient this week than they were 2 weeks ago. So we're trying to improve the same way. So I think that's what all the coaches are trying to do week to week, just be a little bit more efficient, execute a little better. And so I think that's the part that I've seen from improvement from week 1 to week 3.
All right, thanks. Appreciate it.
This question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. How's it going?
Super fantastic, Coach. How are you today?
Doing well.
Good deal. Coach, you have the #1 scoring offense in the conference and the #2 scoring defense in the conference. You're going into Bragg Stadium, which has typically been a difficult place to play. This year, what's a little different than the last 4 years is you're going into this game extremely healthy or relatively healthy. How does that affect the mindset going into this game and the expectations for your Hornets?
Yeah, we're a confident team. We're going down there. We're expecting to play well and expecting to win the game. I think that's when you get on the bus, you got to be expecting to win. But I think for us, health-wise, we're pretty good at this point in the year. Still kind of early, so that's been a good thing. But I think you just have to go down there to a hostile environment and play with confidence. And you have to realize that everything may not go exactly how you plan early in the game. So you have to overcome adversity if adversity happens, and at some point it will. You know, you're playing a good football team. They're going to make plays. They're going to do some things that's going to stress us in certain ways, and they have athletes on the field. So we recognize that standpoint of it. But to me, you got to enjoy the strain of it. You know, you got to enjoy the competition going back and forth. You got to enjoy the competition of those guys pushing you beyond where you want to go. And so I think that's the part of football that you really love. Just you go out there and compete every play. And as the game gets down into that third and fourth quarter, what team is going to execute at a high level? And that's what we keep preaching to the guys. Like, it's going to be certain parts of the game where you have to be able to execute at a very high level and make 6 or 7, 8 good plays in a row in order to take control of a ball game.
Coach, thank you so much, and looking forward to a very great football game this weekend. Good luck.
Appreciate it.
Next question goes to Dr. Cavill.
This is Kenyatta Cavill. Dr. Cavill's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Good morning, Coach Rob.
Good morning. How's it going?
It's going well. Obviously, tactician, all those kind of things. At this point, there's only so much you can get out of a coach in regards to getting in the conference games, which I certainly understand. That's lay of the land. But I want to ask you maybe a little operational coach perspective. You've taken your team recently in terms of what many people see as a hostile environment at Southern from a good perspective because their fans are so involved in the game. Certainly talked about it at Bragg, and you've had that experience. Learning what went well this past experience, maybe what didn't go as well last time you traveled to Tallahassee. Do you change any of that? Do you even look at those kind of things in terms of putting your team in a steady state? I guess would be the framing I'm looking at. Could you provide a little context in terms of what that looks like, or is everything just about the same?
Well, I think the biggest thing for us is you want the kids to be prepared. You don't want them to have any you don't want anything to happen that we didn't cover as a coach. I think that's when, as a coach, that's when I feel like I've let the team down, when something happens or a situation happens that I didn't cover in the last couple of weeks of the last month. So I think going down to FAMU, the biggest thing is the fan support. I mean, they're great, from students to alumni to everybody has on orange and green. It's a great atmosphere to play for the home team, that is. And so they do a great job of engaging their fans, from the PA system to everybody, just to making sure that they're locked into the game. And so for us coming on the road, you have to understand that and expect that. You have to know that the student section is right behind the bench. You have to understand the lay of the land, and you have to understand the environment that you're going into. And so we'll make sure that the kids are prepared from that standpoint. Some are going back for the second time, some are going for the first time, that type of deal. So we'll make sure we're prepared. I got my notes from 2 years ago. I'm gonna go back and look at them, the things that we did good, the things that we did bad. So we may make a different set of mistakes, but we won't make the same mistakes from 2 years ago.
I like that, Coach. Appreciate the clarity and providing some additional context. Makes sense. Good luck this weekend. Look forward to the match.
Next question goes to Ty Miller.
Hey, Coach, with Andrew's plays so far on offense, how much more confidence has he instilled in the coaching staff that you guys can score almost any time you get the ball? And how much more confidence has he given the defense that if he puts up points, they can help to keep the other team at bay?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the trust factor. You know, the trust is earned on the practice field. So he's earned the trust on the practice field, and it turns over into the game. And once he starts making plays or high-level plays, or once it gets off script, he's still able to execute at a high level. And then from a coaching standpoint, you trust to give him more. And I think then the team may start to trust with each other. So that trust word is real big. We use it a lot, and we don't take it for granted. And I tell the kids, you have to earn trust to get more reps. You have to earn trust to get more plays called, as opposed to just we're going to run an inside zone because that's all we trust you to do. So I think it goes back and forth. I mean, the trust goes back and forth between him and the defense, him and his guys on the field, and him and the receivers. So I think it's at a high level right now. It has to get better. You know, it has to improve. You can't be satisfied with where you are. So we're always talking about how can we improve the trust more amongst the players and amongst the coaches. And I think when you're on a team where it really starts to happen is a beautiful thing. And I can see it moving in that direction, but it's still real early. So you just take it one day at a time.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Coach, as always, we appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. And now go over to Alcorn State and Coach Cedric Thomas. Once again, if you do have any questions, we ask you please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. With that being said, happy to be joined by Coach Thomas with Alcorn State. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Coach, obviously a bye week for your program. You could just start us out by recapping the bye.
Yeah, just some well-needed fundamental work, and, technical things inside the system. Coach was able to go in and kind of give their 3-game breakdown on each other, offensively, defensively, and a special team standpoint. Little bumps and bruises to get cleaned up, but it was just more self-reflection of us, from a fundamental standpoint. So I thought the guys, took that bye week, by the horn and had a really good week. And so, now we'll continue to build and get ready for this exciting and, real physical UAPB football team.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Hey, Coach Thomas, good morning. How are you this morning?
Morning, I'm blessed, Wayne. How about yourself?
Hey, doing great. So I know you guys are preparing for this UAPB team, but what I specifically want to ask you is just your thoughts about something that I've said a few times on my podcast is I think that the talent that you guys have and the coaching that you guys have, if you just get this one win right here, it can get you guys moving forward. Is that would you agree with that? And then also, is that really the mentality that's inside your building?
Yeah, that's ultimately that's it. We 0-3 because that's who we are. We know the product that's out there, but we just got to put it all together. And the guys just got to understand it. In today's landscape with transfer portal and getting all these individuals together, it's just us, putting all the pieces together. And we have yet to do that, for 4 quarters. And so that was kind of the mantra, going on, in the bye week. We pulled out some of the good plays and pulled out some of the bad plays. And the bad plays, a lot of them just really had nothing to do with the other team per se. It's us, dropping the football, leaving guys wide open. And so we can clean those things up and, because they prepare well enough, we'll be where we need to be. And so, they deserve a win, but they got to do everything on Saturday, to be able to establish that. And UAPB is definitely going to be one of those teams that's going to try to keep that from happening.
Well, Coach, appreciate that. Good luck up there in Memphis in that Southern Heritage Classic.
Appreciate it, sir.
Next question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Coach, can we talk about what you've seen on film from this UAPB football team, as well as Coach Hampton's staff always does a great job of identifying talent. And who have you and your staff identified on his team that you're going to have to guard against and be aware of on that football field Saturday?
Yeah, they got a big bruiser, running back that also can, jump cut and get the ball to the edge. You see it with a massive, what we call truck stick in the video game world on a UCA defender. Can get the ball to the edge, can run the outside zone, but also run between the tackles. But they got 2 or 3 backs that's really physical that we really got to do a good job of putting our, hand on and hats on and try to get 11 guys to the ball. And then, got a speedster, number 1, can stretch the field vertically, does a really good job from the screen game. And so, Coach does an amazing job. You see the development and the talent standpoint, of what he's done there in those 3 years. And then that coaching staff, putting a product that's always good out there. So we got our hands full, in this classic. And so we just got to identify those guys that we know they like to get the football to and, do some things to kind of get the quarterback route up.
Thank you, Coach. Good
Yes,
luck.
sir. Appreciate it.
Next question goes to Tanner Spearman.
Good morning, Coach Thomas. Looking at you guys and UAPB, both of you have had 1 game so far this year where you've run the ball really well. A couple games where it's been a bit tougher to do. How do you feel about that matchup on Saturday, just in terms of your defensive front against their rushing attack and your rushing attack against their defensive front?
Yeah, that's where the game's gonna be won. Whichever team can create a new line of scrimmage and get those leaky yardage and the explosives in the run games, it just cleans up the pocket for the quarterback and open up some throwing lanes. And so we got to try to establish the line of scrimmage to give our running backs opportunity. And from a defensive line standpoint, we got to be able to get knocked back and play in their backfield. And that offensive line does a really good job playing together. And so, that's where the game will be won. We'll be able to tell, 11 o'clock on Saturday, whenever it's over, whichever team, when you look at those stats that, ran the football efficiently, probably going to be the winner.
Thank you, Coach.
Yes, sir.
This question goes to Doc Holliday.
Coach Thomas, how you doing this morning?
Oh, I'm blessed. What's up with it, Doc?
I'm doing good. Coming into this game with Pine Bluff, what are some things that you want to try to improve as far as with the pass offense, but also looking at your run defense against Pine Bluff?
We got to be efficient in catching the football. I think we got, a surplus of drops out there that could make this thing look totally different. If we, seize the moment in catching the football. So I think that'll help the quarterback out a lot. Just being able to receive those footballs, whether in traffic or just one-on-one. And then we got to get more guys to the box if we need to. It's got to be a concerted effort with this run game. We got to make sure we get some guys up there because they got a bunch of guys, man, that can tote it. Got an offensive line that are really moving. And even the quarterback, he'll pull some zone reads and, use his legs because he's dangerous also. So we got to get some extra guys in this box and make sure that we can, do a really good job of solidifying, that front so they just can't, just push us off the ball and have a long day running the football.
I appreciate you, Coach.
Appreciate it, Doc.
Any final questions for Coach? All right, we got a question from Tanner Spearman.
I'll ask another one, Coach. Get a chance to play in the Southern Heritage Classic, first time for Alcorn. Probably would have been a road game at UAPB, but you're going to go to Memphis instead. Just how does that change the feel and the vibes of the game day playing at a neutral site in a big stadium as opposed to going on the road?
Yeah, this the fourth one, for us. So, we kind of the road warriors now. But we just got to lock ourselves in. It'll be a lot of pageantry, and I'm just, I don't think the team would have to be involved in a whole bunch, but you still got, a specific time to be at the stadium. You got traffic, you got, hotels being packed and booked. I've been going to this classic for a long time, just as a fan, growing up. So we just got to make sure that we got tunnel vision and we're Adderall focused on, just the football game and let the fans and, everybody else kind of enjoy the things that's associated with the classic.
Thank you, King Coach.
This question goes to Perry Daniels.
Coach, let's talk about your running back, Jacorian Sewell, and your expectations for him. First, evaluate how he's performed so far this season, and then discuss your expectations for him Saturday.
Awesome. He's been above and beyond. Knock on wood. No fumbles, got explosives. Has caught the ball really well. We think he's an NFL back. We think he has opportunity to play on the next level. We got to give it to him more, and we'll do that. And so he's done a really good job. Seizing the moment. Versus what we asked of him, and so couldn't be more pleased with him. And my expectation is NFL player. Being a leader on and off the field, but also, giving us opportunity to have a successful, game, not only coming up, but, for the whole year.
Awesome, Coach. Thank you.
Any final questions for Coach? Coach, as always, we appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. All right, we are maybe a minute or two ahead of schedule. We'll pause momentarily. We'll be back with Coach Woody with Bethune-Cookman. Thank you for your patience. Once again, if you do have questions for Coach, please utilize the raise your hand feature. See several questions already in the queue, so please limit your questions to one initial question. If we have additional time, we'll work our way back to get additional questions answered. With that being said, happy to be joined by Coach Woody with Bethune-Cookman. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Coach, as always, we appreciate your time. If you could, please start us out with an opening statement recapping your team's most recent outing versus Edward Waters.
Obviously we started out, we won the toss. Edward Waters started with the ball. They went on a 6-play drive that ended in a Johnny Harris interception at the 7-yard line. And then we went on a 12-play drive and resulted in a punt. In our second drive, we ended up scoring on a pass from Cam to Malik. And then we scored again with our running back coming out the backfield, Ali Scott. Then we ended up 14-6, and then going into the third quarter, we had some explosives, and the final score is 35-9.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Hey, Coach Woody, congrats on the win this week.
Thank you.
And my question for you is, just based off of that fourth quarter that was played last week against South Carolina State, where you guys scored 28 points in that fourth quarter, like, where do you think that was considered to be really a turning point for where you guys are right now? Because your offense this Saturday with Cam Ransom throwing for 4 touchdowns and, Malik Huggins doing what he does, Kamari doing what he was doing. Do you think that 28.4 quarter was a turning point for you guys so far?
Well, I really feel like, the guys have been progressing. Obviously, we've been playing with 2 quarterbacks and just getting the continuity and the consistency. I think that was a big lift, showing what we could be. And now, we're progressing in the right direction.
All right, Coach. Appreciate that. Good luck this week.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Perry Daniels.
Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you.
Hey, Coach, man, the Alabama A&M coming up, they've been playing really well and have an amazing quarterback, Cornelius Brown. Talk about how what you've seen regarding him on film and how you defend him.
Well, I tell you, man, he can run, he can throw. He got guys protecting him. You can tell he's a smart guy. Those guys follow him. He's a outstanding player. Obviously know him from last year, and he's, like I said, seemed like he's really doing well down there for Coach Shade.
And if I could, Andrew, or should I wait?
You can go
Ask
ahead.
another one.
You can go ahead.
You implemented a 2 quarterback strategy early on, and now you've seemed to settle on Cam Ransom. I know a lot of times coaches use competition to get the most out of athletes. Was this a strategy to get the results that you're getting out of Cam now? Was that a strategy going in?
No, basically we tell the guys, you got to come to work and go to work every day. Competition is competition. He didn't come here, speaking about Tim, just to be a number 2. He came in competing. Then like I said, it was back and forth, and both of them know that, hey, any given situation, your name is going to be called, but we're going to play the best. And obviously Tim still has opportunity to push Cam. And iron sharpens iron, and that's what we do, and that's how we do.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck this week.
Thank you.
Question goes to Doc Holliday.
Coach Woody, how you doing today?
Doing great, and yourself?
Doing good. Congratulations on the victory on Saturday.
Thank you.
You already talked about Cam Ransom, your quarterback, but your other 2, I call them the big 3, Kamani Robinson and Malik Huggins. Talk a little bit about them and what can they do going into the game with Bethune, not with Alabama A&M. What do you see that you think they can exploit as far as the defense goes?
Well, they do a really good job on defense. They big, they fast, they're aggressive. We got to keep maintaining ourselves on offense, being able to run the ball, and then obviously when you run the ball, the pass opens up. Malik, he's a guy that he loves competition. You get him out in space. He can make some people miss and take it a distance. So I'm really proud of Kamani. He's a true freshman. Obviously we bring guys in to play, and he's doing what we thought he was going to do coming in. So he has that big play ability. Once he get to the second level, you can see that he can take it the distance. So we're excited about both of those young men.
All right, appreciate you, Coach.
Thank you.
Question goes to Dr. Ville.
Dr. Ville's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, Doc.
want to ask you a little bit, and from the defensive side of the ball. How do you think your team is coming together defensively? I know it may be a challenge in terms of playing FBS programs and then Division II to try to look at it all. But as you get into your film watch, what do you see getting done from your defensive side, and who's standing out on that side of the ball?
Well, had an opportunity to spend, obviously as a head coach, defensive guy, you spend more
Right.
time now over there, trying to correct some, the techniques, the fundamentals. The big thing is got to be able to stop the run. Obviously they improved, with a total of 247 yards total offense and 74 yards, rushing. I thought they played solid. We had 4 takeaways, and I thought that was big as well. Our goal is 3. We had 4. Cornelius Bass, our defensive end, he had some solid plays, playing a run and then also rushing the pass. He had 9 tackles and 1 sack and 1 tackle for loss. So he's doing really well. Naheem Laster, had a pick 6, who's our nickel. And all these guys, have been working hard throughout camp and then obviously through the several games that we played up until this point. So they was really on point on the game plan and showed up where we needed them to show up.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Currently taking questions for Coach Woody with Bethune-Cookman. Any final questions? All right, we have a question from Charles Bishop.
Yeah, Coach Woody, real quickly, and I just wanted to ask this question in terms of what do you think has been sort of the catalyst for change? Like over the past 5 quarters, 63 points, especially looking at the offensive side of the ball.
Well, like I said before, just the continuity, those guys being able to follow, a leader and making sure that we're putting these guys in the best position as possible. A lot of times, it's not about the X's and O's, it's about those Jimmys and Joes, putting guys in position to make plays and not giving them too much to think about. And I just think now, we're starting to come together, as a team on the offense, and you see the production.
For sure thing. I appreciate that, Coach.
Thank you.
Any additional questions for Coach? Coach, we sincerely appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. All right, we are a minute or 2 ahead of schedule for Coach Colsey with Florida A&M. We'll pause momentarily. Thank you for your patience. All right, once again, for our media participants, if you do have questions for Coach, please utilize the raise your hand feature. Get your question in the queue, please. Limit your questions to 1 initial question, as we already have several questions there in the queue. Please wait to be called upon prior to asking your question. With that being said, happy to be joined by Coach Colsey with Florida A&M. Good morning, Coach.
Hey, good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing?
Doing great, Coach. And as always, we appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to join us, Coach. Obviously, a bye for your program this past week. So if you could start us out just by recapping the bye week.
Just we went to a Wednesday afternoon. Coaching staff went on the road and did some recruiting in the state of Florida. Had a couple guys in Kansas and then in Mississippi. But so we used the week to get ourselves healthy, but also get better. Excited to get back and get ready for this upcoming week against Alabama State.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Hey, Coach Colsey. Hey, I know you guys have a really big one this week. Obviously, with SWAC play, they're all big now. But
I was about to say they're all big, I thought.
they're all big now. But in specifics this week, as you guys get ready to hit that practice field and prepare for this game, what are some of the things that you think are the keys to containing Andrew Body, the quarterback, those receivers, and also just the way their run game has progressed so far?
Well, they've done a great job the first 3 weeks, right? I mean, you're trying to contain a guy who's, the tops in the nation in a lot of different offensive categories. But, it's just got to get to him, got to get him on the ground. That's the biggest thing. Got to change up some coverages and change up some looks, right? But they've been putting the ball in the end zone. They've been doing it at a very, very fast pace. And, we're just hopefully we can do some things to keep the ball in front, make some tackles, and hopefully force them to kick some field goals as opposed to scoring touchdowns.
All right, Coach, good luck this week. We're all looking forward to seeing it.
I appreciate you.
Question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, Perry. How are you?
I'm super fantastic, Coach. I want to talk about this Alabama State defense, which is the second best scoring defense in the conference. And traditionally, Coach Robinson Jr.'s defenses are extremely tough. And your offense has kind of struggled so far up into the last contest. Talk about that matchup and its impact on the game, your offense against that defense.
Well, it's always been a focal point in this series, right? I mean, it's these teams could be scoring a bunch of points on both sides of the field, but when we get a chance to play against each other, it's been a low scoring football game. So I just think that it's for us, obviously, we got to get off to a fast start, try to put the ball in the paint as quick as we can. But, they do pose some problems with some different coverages. And bottom line, they've always got players that are getting around, moving around, getting to the football. So, I think it's both sides, both defensive sides have got to get some stops, right? Both defenses have got to force these offenses to punt and kind of get them off rhythm. So that's just kind of been the normalcy in this football game. And it's going to also hold true to what happens this upcoming Saturday.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
I appreciate you.
Question goes to Doc Holliday.
Coach Coles, how you doing this morning?
Doc, what's going on, boss?
I'm doing good. Coming into this game against Alabama State, 4 in a row with this team. What is you want to tell you guys to try to make sure that they are not complacent with this Bama State team, who is pretty much a high-powered offense and still have an opportunistic defense?
Well, you just got to put the film on the screen, right? I mean, there's no way we couldn't be complacent, right? I mean, obviously we're 1-2, they're 2-1. They probably played better football than we've played over those 3 week span of us playing. So, just putting them on film and letting them let our guys watch them run around, right? So I just, for us, it's obviously we want to start 1-0 in SWAC play. We're going against a very, very good football team, a well-coached football team who's also looking to start 1-0. So, we just got to do what we need to do offensively and defensively, do the things that we can do. Offensively, making sure we run the football, defensively, making sure we stop the run, trying to keep Body off of the field. And when we do have an opportunity to get him down, we got to make sure we execute that, right? But it should be a very, very good football game. This game has always been very good and always come down to that last series. And hopefully, we're the ones that make the play at the end. But I think it's going to be a very, very good football game.
All right. Appreciate you, Coach.
All right, Doc.
Next question goes to Dr. Cavill.
Kenyatta Cavill, Dr. Cavill's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. In terms of the anticipation of a well-played football game, can we focus on your defensive side of the ball? What do you need to get done to be successful in this matchup?
Now you got to be able to tackle. You got to be able to get all 11 halves of the football. Man, they're doing a great job of keeping him upright. And then when you do get pressure on him, he's finding a way to get out. So I just think the biggest thing for us is making sure we finish. Right, we've had a couple opportunities where we've been in, throughout our 3 games where we've been in position. Right, been in great defensive position, whether it's make a tackle or to finish a play in coverage, right? So we got to make sure that we can do some of those things that, for the most part in the past we've done remotely well, right? But this year, just trying to make sure we're not just there, but finishing plays, man. They do a great job offensively with him getting them the football. He's done a great job of getting the ball to his athletes. So they've they put some points on the board because they're executing at a high level. And that's credit to Coach Robinson and what they're doing, not just on the offensive side, but also the defensive side. They're playing really, really good football. And now we have a bye week, right? Obviously, people are trying to get healthy. And, obviously, we get an opportunity to get some of our guys back. But, we're going to have to play well. We're going to play really, really well just to kind of keep this game as close as we can. And, we're just excited to be able to start SWAC play.
Thank you, Coach. Look forward to the matchup as well.
I appreciate you.
This question goes to James Hill.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everybody on the highest of 7 hills are well. Can you talk about this rivalry and also the quarterback play heading into this game at Bragg?
Well, first, James, you kind of low in the pecking order right here. You normally get about the first 2 or 3 questions. Now you're answering the first. You're sixth or seventh on the pecking order right now. Is that what it is?
Yeah, yes, sir. I'm working it.
No, it's all good, man. It's been a great game. This will be the 4th time being a part of this series, and then everything's always been close. Defensively, it was kind of ran the games, and as far as the win, lose or draw, but going into this 4th matchup, man, it's gonna have to boil down to quarterback play. Our quarterback gonna have to try to match the level of what they're doing over there at Alabama State, and I think we've used 2. Where right now they kind of already have who their number 1's going to be, but when you get into these type of games, it's going to be about turnovers, executing in the red zone, scoring touchdowns as opposed to kicking field goals, and being able to finish in the 4th quarter. And that's really, for the most part, the 3 years that I've been in it, that's what it's been boiled down to. Great defense, finishing the 4th quarter at a high level. And getting a chance, who's going to win those 50-50 battles? Will FAMU win those 50-50 battles, or will Alabama State win those 50-50 battles? So, 2 good teams going at it, trying to open up 1-0 and put themselves in a good position as far as the SWAC standings go.
Good luck this week, sir.
Appreciate you, boss.
Next question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Hey, Coach, I'll jump back in and I'll ask you this. I kind of talked a little bit about this last week when with that second half that you guys had offensively against Albany State. But now in specifics, where do you see that offensive output? How do you see it, the potential carryover from those things into this game, specifically with RJ, and then also the way your running game started to get going with that?
Well, it's exude confidence, right? Especially, you start putting the ball in the end zone, those guys start realizing some of the stuff that you did offensively or you're trying to do offensively is working, but we're going to go as far as Stat Franklin takes us, right? I think that he's going to have to be a person that we're going to definitely need, right? It's hard for Alabama State to score points when on the sidelines, right? So we're going to have to do a very, very good job of controlling the clock, keeping that high-powered offense of theirs on the sidelines. And the best way to do that is by running the football, right? So, we know we're gonna have to throw. We understand that, they're gonna try to stack the box on us and things like that. But I just think that for us to have success and making sure this game goes in our favor, we're gonna have to run the football and try to do everything we can to keep that high-powered offense, on the sidelines, right? So, and then once we do move the football, we're gonna need some touchdowns, right? So I think that's just something that offensively we know that we have to do. But on the flip side, right, defensively, we're going to have to get off the field. For the most part, we've done a decent job on 3rd down, and there's going to be some times on 3rd down we have to get off the field, right? So on both sides, right? These games they've been well played. They've been tough football games, and they've come down in the 4th quarter, right? So turnovers, being great in the red zone, and then being great on 3rd downs, in my opinion, ultimately could determine who wins this football game.
All right, appreciate you, Coach.
Thanks, Wayne. Appreciate you.
Coach, as always, we appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
Hey, appreciate you guys, and good luck to everybody this weekend.
Thank you. All right, we now will have that adjustment to the schedule. Coach Joseph is attending the State Fair Classic press conference, which is taking place today. So we will adjust his time slot allotment. He will be at 12:15. Coach Joseph will be at 12:15. And Coach Tremaine Jackson with Prairie View A&M, he will be at 12:05. So we'll have an extended pause here, and when we return, we will be joined by Coach Hampton with Arkansas Pine Bluff. Thank you for your patience. Once again, for our media participants, if you have questions for our coaches, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. We already have several questions in the queue, so we're going to ask you to please limit your questions to one initial question. If we've got additional time, we'll work our way back to get additional questions answered. With that being said, happy to be joined by Coach Hampton with Arkansas Pine Bluff. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Coach, as always, appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to join us. If you could start us out by recapping this past bye week for your program.
Well, obviously for us, had a lot of things we need to get cleaned up in all three phases. And so we had a good week of practice, practice Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Gave the kids some time off to get rejuvenated, refreshed, restored. And everybody's excited about the upcoming week.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Hey, Coach Hampton, good morning to you. I hope you had a really good bye week and getting yourselves ready for this game up there in Memphis.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
so my question for you today, I know when I talked to you last week, I talked a little bit about your offense, but I want to talk about specifically your running game with BJ. You said BJ was going to be able to be in the mix this week. Is that still correct?
Correct.
Okay, so with that said, how do you see your run game? Particularly with the matchup against Alcorn State's defensive front. How do you see that playing itself out for you guys?
Well, it's just like anything, man. It's going to be battle of the big guys. I mean, offensive line, D line on both sides. They do a really good job. We got a lot of experienced guys on our O line, and so we're excited about the opportunity. But again, whoever does their lineman assignment and technique is really what it's going to boil down to. They got really good running backs. We feel we got 2 good running backs, 3, 4 good running backs as well. So it'll be interesting. We put a lot of work into this, and obviously first conference game. And again, the game will be won at the line of scrimmage. So whoever controls the line of scrimmage will end up with the win.
All right, Coach. Good luck this week against Alcorn up there in Memphis.
I appreciate it.
This question goes to James Hill.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everybody in Pine Bluff are well. Just talk a little bit about the skilled players that you have with the Golden Lions as you get ready to go in and play that critical game in Memphis in the versus Alcorn.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we've had some uncharacteristic drops from guys that we were, counting on. So we've had a chance to clean up some of that stuff. And, we feel like we got a good group of receivers. And again, quarterback's doing a good job of getting the ball out to the guys, and we just need to be able to make plays. We're playing a very aggressive football team, so you're going to have opportunity to make plays. You just got to be able to make the play when your number's called. So it'll be an exciting game for all involved, and we're looking forward to it. Our receivers know it's going to be a challenge. Those guys, man, they get down there and they compete. Alcorn do. So we're excited about that.
Thank you, Coach. Have a blessed week.
You too.
Question goes to Doc Holliday.
Coach Hampton, how you doing this morning?
Doing good.
All right. Going into this game, going into the bye week, what are some key positions that you had that needed to try to get themselves well rested before this game coming up Saturday against Alcorn?
Well, obviously, as it's every position, honestly, O-line, D-line, got some guys that's banged up as everybody in the country do at this point in time. And then you got some guys that were banged up at the running back position, but they'll be back. And so we're excited about that. But again, just overall, man, just being able to get restored over the bye week, get your couple of days off, kind of get your legs back underneath you, kind of catch your second wind, and get ready to roll.
I appreciate you, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
Next question goes to Tanner Spearman.
Good morning, Coach. Obviously, you guys were able to keep the Southern Heritage Classic on the schedule, even when Tennessee State pulled out. The cost of that was moving this Alcorn game, your first conference game, from Pine Bluff to Memphis. How important is playing in Memphis, in your opinion, to UAPB, and was it worth it to give up what would have been a conference home game?
But obviously, it's worth it because we did it. And again, that's not my call; that's the AD's call. But Memphis has been great to University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. So when he came to me, I was all in agreement with it. Mr. Fred Jones has been an outstanding ambassador for HBCUs, and he's done a tremendous job by us. And so at the end of the day, we call Memphis our second home anyway. So, it gives people another opportunity to be able to get outside of Pine Bluff, and our fans travel well. So it's a win-win for us, and I think our players would rather sleep in a hotel bed than a bed on campus, right? It's kind of like you kind of get away from everything. So it's fun. It's exciting. So it really wasn't a big deal giving up a home game because we consider Memphis a home game. People work hard all week, and then we just, hey, get in your car, get your hotel room, go down and eat some good barbecue, and we just need to go in lines and show up and play well so we can get a W.
All right, thank you, Coach.
This question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Coach, wins and losses don't always tell the story of a team's progress. Where is your team now from your point of view of what you thought they would be in the offseason at this point in the season?
Yeah, I mean, we're right where we should be. Honestly, we knew coming in that Texas Tech was a really good football team. I think they ranked number 15 in the country. We knew going into that game what it was. Then you turn around, you play UCA. We knew that they had a lot of experience on the O-line, D-line coming back. And that head coach has been there about 7 years. And we thought we were going to be able to compete, and we were. It was 20-10 at half, should have been 20-14. And then in the third and fourth quarter, they just kind of controlled the clock. I think they had the ball like 10 minutes. We couldn't get off the field. They just kind of, we kind of lost the game right there. They just kind of took over, time of possession. And so we were right there. And then obviously you come back, you play a team like Lincoln, California, and our kids, we were able to get the win. Have a lot of guys that play. So we were right where we were supposed to be. And then you come back, you take a break, get a bye week, and then you play a really, really good Alcorn team, a team that's 0-3, but anybody that's watched them know you probably had that schedule. Most people would be. I thought they were, when you go watch them play Northwestern State, I thought Alcorn was a better football team. They just made some mistakes. And they got two of the best running backs, if not in the conference, in FCS, period. Those two running backs are really good football players. They got some receivers that can run. They're big on the O-line. And on defense, they hit you in the mouth. They fly around, get 11 hats to the ball. So it's going to be a really, really good challenge for us, and we're excited about it.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Appreciate it.
Currently taking questions for Coach Hampton with Arkansas Pine Bluff. Next question goes to Tanner Spearman.
All right, Coach, you talked about some of Alcorn's, what they've got, but as far as their quarterback, Tolbert, what have you seen from him, and what is it going to take from your defense to kind of keep him contained and keep him from having a big game?
Well, at the end of the day, I mean, I think that they want to run the football. I mean, they do got receivers that can run, and the quarterback throws the ball well. But if I had those running backs he got, I'll probably just turn around and get in the old Warren High School power I and just hand it right side, left side, let the running backs run till they can't run anymore. But no, they got a good football team on the offensive side of the ball and defense. So we just need to be able to stop the run as you go into every game. But we're really going to have to make a concerted effort to get hats to the balls, and you're going to have to wrap up because that running back is really, really good. So we got our work cut out for us. And then the other running back, I think he was a all-conference player at the school he came from. So they've done a really good job of reloading. I think they're projected, 1 or 2 in the conference on the west side. So Coach has done a really good job, and he's an outstanding person, man. So we'll have our work cut out, but we're all excited for the opportunity ahead.
Thank you, Coach.
Any final questions for Coach? Coach Hampton, as always, we appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
I appreciate it. Y'all be blessed.
Thank you. All right, next we go over to Mississippi Valley State and Coach Buckley. Once again, if you do have questions for Coach, we ask you please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. We also ask that you please limit your initial questions to one initial question. If we've got additional time, we'll work our way back to get additional questions answered. With that being said, happy to be joined by Coach Buckley with Mississippi Valley State. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. Good morning.
Coach, as always, we appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to join us. Obviously, this past week was a bye week for your program. So if you could just start us out by reassessing this past bye week.
Bye week is like what bye weeks are supposed to be: resetting, really studying what you've done that not has gone so well, which for us which was a lot, and trying to make those improvements. Going back to the fundamentals, the reason that you're here. What are we trying to do to improve the team? What's the mood, the attitude, just an overall view. I'm not a big fan of having it by this early, but it worked out for us. And we got a chance to see, we watched some games, some of the teams that beat us pretty good. We watched them against other teams that had more talent to see how they would react. So it was very, very educational.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Hey, Coach, good morning to you. And with this game that's coming up against Texas Southern, obviously they have an identical record to you, 0-3. Do you guys as a staff and with your team on this bye week, did you guys really just give a whole lot more focus with the reset in terms of just reestablishing that, hey, the guys on this team in this building are good enough?
Absolutely. I mean, we watched, pulled up some Kobe Bryant stuff, some Michael Jordan. We talked a little bit about Terrence Crawford. I want to say when you take over a program that's been down as long as we have, the mindset and of when you get down, that you're still not out of the game if you keep executing and doing the basic stuff, right? So alignment, assignment, effort, along with fundamentals is kind of what we focus on of trying to rechange that mindset and saying that we do have talent in here. We are that good. Let's go out and prove it, though.
All right, Coach. Good luck to you this week.
Thank you.
Question goes to Perry Daniels.
Coach, similar to yourself, you're going against another high-profile former NFL cornerback in Coach Dishman this week. Can you talk about what you've seen on film from that program?
Well, it's kind of simple. You talk about Coach Dishman, you look at it, you're like, shoot, ball head, DB, and Coach Dish and I know each other, and we speak. We actually worked in the XFL together and spent some time. But the building and turnaround the program, he has a year on me in that instant. But the fiery, the trying to get the discipline, the fundamentals of football, the teachings, all the things that obviously made him and myself successful. You try to instill that into your team. Not having to worry about you off the field will allow you to have, at least give you the opportunity to be successful on the field. And that's what, to me, what you see with them that I would say he probably sees with us.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
This question goes to James Hill.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everybody in the Delta are well. When you think about the opportunity to get one at Rice-Totten Stadium, the packed house, everybody riding down Highway 82, talk about a golden opportunity to get something done versus in this particular game versus Texas Southern.
Look, my attitude I try to get to the team, each practice is a golden opportunity to get better, to gain knowledge, gain wisdom. The winning the game is a byproduct of preparation, your attitude, which started last week for us, is going to continue any day, any opportunity you get a chance to step on the practice field to get opportunity to earn the right to win on Saturday is kind of what I'm about, which coming up 82, packed house at Rice-Totten Stadium is like icing on the cake.
Thank you, Coach. Have a blessed week.
You too. Thank you.
This question goes to Brandon King.
Good morning, Coach. How you doing?
Oh, good.
Brandon King with Inside the HBCU Sports Lab and SneakerShopTalk.com. you've mentioned in previous calls about looking guys to get them on the proverbial bus.
Yes.
And you touched on it a little earlier, even in your previous comments about evaluating guys. And it sounds really similar to a deal we had when I was in retail: coach them up or coach them out. As we are a third way into the season, how can you speak to how that evaluation process going in terms of finding those guys on the bus, and what are some attributes that you look for that tells you what side of the ledger that some of those guys are gonna fall on?
Well, man, I tell you what, I'm very, very excited after these first 3 games. And you look at our scores, you look at what we're doing, and you would say, why are you that excited, Coach Buckley? I'm glad you asked that. Because now we're not just trying to get guys on the bus, off the bus. We're throwing them out the window and throwing them in the window. Because now we know, we're not guessing any longer. Can he do this? Can he not do that? Can he play? Can he be the guy? Can he make this play? Well, we got enough tape now that we know that. And now we can go back to getting our top, I'm a 2 deep guy, our top 44 players, football players, on the field and start working with them. The rotation has been cut down, trying to look at guys we don't have to do any longer. And now we can get back to the fundamentals of football: alignment, assignment, effort, fundamentally type football, and start the roll and spend time with those guys. So yes, it's been. I'm pretty pumped.
All right. Well, thank you for that insight, Coach, and wishing you luck as you continue to put your stamp on the program.
Thank you.
Question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
All right, Coach, so I'll jump back in here on this. Let's talk a little bit specifics about this game this week against Texas Southern. Obviously, you guys played Tarleton State in Southeast Louisiana, but where I want to specifically go back to is the opener where you played a fellow SWAC opponent in Southern. So given those specs and given the fact that you guys were able to run the ball and force some turnovers, what can you take from that opening game performance that you think will prepare you well for this game in specifics against Texas Southern?
I think we take a lot, right? The mindset was totally different than the previous 2 games. I don't think you can completely take away those other 2 games, because you can say, is that uncharacteristic of us or is that who we are? Then you go back to the first game, you feel a little more comfortable about your opponent and what's going on, and everything about us is different. We move different, we act different, we sound different. So this week, I expect different things, and that was a game I keep telling guys where you're saying, man, we shoulda, we coulda won the game. We have to get that out of our vocabulary and say, hey, great game. We got it done. We closed the door. How do we close the door? Is do this, alignment, assignment, effort, fundamentally football, make the plays when they count.
Well, Coach, it's been 6 years since these programs have met on the field, and the last time they met, Valley was victorious.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. Make sure you don't tell this that.
Hey, but Coach Buck, good luck to you this week, man. Appreciate you as always.
Thank you.
Any final questions for Coach Buckley with Mississippi Valley State?
Hey, thank you, guys. See you next week.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, we'll pause momentarily. Thank you for your patience. Next, we'll be joined by Coach Graves at 11:35. We'll have Coach Tremaine Jackson join us at 12:05. Be back momentarily. Thank you for your patience. Once again, if you have questions for our coaches, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. Please limit your questions to one initial question. If we've got additional time, we'll work our way back and get additional questions answered. With that being said, we are happy to be joined by Coach Graves with Southern University. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, Drew. How are you?
Doing great, Coach. And as always, we sincerely appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to join us, Coach. Obviously, a bye week for your program this past week. So if you could just start us out by assessing the bye week for your program.
Yeah, we we were off last week, and we got a chance to go back and really self-evaluate our football team in all three phases. And we sat down and we watched it with a critical eye, and we had some hard conversations and some real conversations about what we're doing and how we're doing it. And so we had to go and find out what we could do, find out what can our guys do and do well and have success, and those things that we don't do well, either get them up to speed to do well or not do them at all. And so we practiced Monday through Thursday, had great practices. Coaches got out on the road to go to junior college games in Mississippi and Texas, and also high school games in Louisiana and Texas as well, and Mississippi. So it was good to give those guys a couple of days off, hoping to get some guys back healthy and sound, getting ready to prepare for a home game against a strong Jackson State program.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Coach Graves, good morning to you.
Good morning.
So obviously you haven't been part of every game in the 6-game losing skid that Southern has had to Jackson State, but you were on the sidelines for the last two. How badly do you just personally want to win this game and end this skid against Jackson State? What does this whole thing mean to you personally?
Well, personally for me, I'm a person who lives in the precious present. And so personally, I want to win because it's the next game. It's not necessarily about me winning personally. I want these young men who's been working hard to have some success, and that's what we talk about. It's not about what I want personally. It's about what we want as a program. So we want to prepare and get these guys ready to go to give ourselves the best chance to win.
All right, Coach, good luck down there on the bluff on Saturday night. I know it's going to be exciting.
Thank you.
Question goes to James Hill.
Hello, Coach. I hope you and everybody at Southern University are well. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm blessed. I'm blessed. This is one of the greatest rivalries in HBCU sports, and definitely in the SWAC, the Blue Bloods, Southern and Jackson. And this is a big-time game. Talk a little bit about the mentality going in and what you look forward to.
Well, it's a great atmosphere. You know, they call it the Boombox Classic, and regardless of whether we're on the road, at home, and we do, crowds are going to come out. It's going to be packed. The place is going to be crazy. The energy and excitement is going to be high. It's two great programs, two great traditions and story programs. TC does a great job over there with Jackson State, and those guys will be fired up, ready to come in. And our guys, we're going to be fired up, and we're ready to go. And so we're excited to have an opportunity to host this game at home in front of our crowd, and we're just excited to have this opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Have a blessed week. Good luck at Mumford.
Thank you.
This question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm super fantastic, Coach. And you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Yes, sir. Hey, Coach, this Jackson State team, they've got bullies on both sides of the line of scrimmage. They've got speed on the perimeter offensively. They tackle well on the perimeter defensively. What is the communication to your team going into this game?
Well, it's like anything else. They do a great job. They have players. Like I told them, it always starts up front, regardless of who you're playing. It starts up front, and how well we protect and how well we create a new line of scrimmage is going to be important. And then all the other parts have to come. We have to be able to score the football. We have to be able to score points. We got to be able to stop the run and get off the field on third downs. We got to take the ball away, and we got to win the hidden yardage in the kicking game. And that's what I've been preaching. That's what we've been preaching. That's what it's going to take. We got to go, we got to hone in on the fundamentals and techniques. We got to tackle better in space. We got to throw and catch. We got to do all those things to give ourselves a chance to win this football game. So the message is the same. They do a great job over there, but certainly I know our kids have been working and looking forward to the opportunity.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Question goes to Doc Holliday.
Coach Graves, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing well, and yourself?
Doing good. Going into this bye week, and a lot of injuries on your team on both sides of the ball, but the main question is QB. Who will be QB1 this coming Saturday?
Well, you'll find out Saturday night when we kick off. We're not, we got guys, the quarterbacks are working. Got some good reports on Jalen Woods. So we'll work this week and see how it goes. And then on Saturday, whoever goes out there first, that's how we'll start this thing off.
Good answer right there. Appreciate you, Coach.
Yes, sir.
This question goes to Toy Lloyd Brown.
Hey, Coach. Thanks for the time this morning.
How you doing, TJ?
Doing good. Yeah, a little quick two-parter. You said Jalen, good reports on Jalen. Does that mean he's available, as well as for Cameron going back to his former school? I guess, is he a little bit extra motivated since he's going to go back to the school he used to play at?
Well, we haven't had that conversation, and we don't get caught up into that. That's just, of course, as a competitor, you get excited when you play against a team where you come from. But as far as us having a conversation about him being motivated and excited, we haven't had those conversations. We're preparing our football team to host and play a good Jackson State football team. That's our focus. We're not big on individual battles and things of that nature. We're about the team now concept. So that's where we are, and so we'll see how everything goes this week, and then we'll go from there.
Thank you very much. And also, Jalen Woods, is he available?
We'll see on Saturday.
Sounds good. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
This question goes to Perry Daniels.
Hey, Coach, I know you've got a huge game this weekend, but if we could, I'd like to kind of go back to a couple of weeks ago prior to leaving for the Fresno State game. With what occurred in the country with the assassination of Charlie Kirk, several HBCUs were closed due to that event and some threats to the campus. Did that affect your team prior to leaving? And what was the talk to the team, if there was one, regarding that situation?
Well, unfortunately, that happened, and we were one of the schools that were targeted, so to speak, in terms of the things that were going on. So we had to lock down the campus, and we had to lock down the school. Unfortunately, I was off campus doing something, and I got a message that the campus had been locked down. And so what we did, the AD Banks and I, he called me and we talked, and we knew that we couldn't practice that day for sure. And so I sent out a message to all the players. As a matter of fact, I had a Zoom call with the team and made sure. But before the Zoom call, what I did is I put in our group messaging communication for every player to shelter in place, and for the players that live off campus, go to their teammates' rooms that are on campus and shelter in place and stay there until everything has been cleared and what have you. And so then what I did shortly thereafter was we had a team Zoom call, and we talked about what was going on and what we needed to do and how we needed to do it. And I'm a man of faith, and we're a team of faith. So, we put it in God's hands and allowed him to be who he is in our lives. And so what we did was we knew that we lost a day of preparation, but we didn't use any excuses. We were able to come back the next morning and practice before we left. And, we loaded up. They did a great job. the university and our administration did a great job of making sure that we had security at practice and we had security going to the airport as well as returning back to campus. They did an outstanding job of keeping our students and our student athletes safe. And, unfortunately, that was just a time and a period and a moment in history that was not favorable, but we came out all right. And so we use that as a teaching moment and a teaching lesson to educate our student athletes once again about how we're to live, how we're to, move around, how we are to treat others, and how we are to just go about the business of the day. Life changes, life happens. It's how you address it and how you go about it. That's the key thing.
Sounds like you and the administration did a great job there, Coach. Did any of the kids need personal counseling?
No, and that's the thing about it. Our guys, they do a great job of communicating with us and talking with us, and if that was the case, they would have, because our guys, we have an open door policy, so our guys come to us and talk to us all the time, and then we provide the services. The university provides the services for our student athletes and our students as well, if we need those. But we didn't have any players that needed any extra, services in that regard.
Coach, as always, we appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
All right, thank you. Go
Thank
Jags.
you, sir. All right, next we go over to Texas Southern. Once again, if you do have questions, we ask you please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. Please wait to be acknowledged prior to asking your question, and please ensure that your lines are actively muted unless you're actively asking a question. With that being said, happy to be joined by Coach Dishman with Texas Southern. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing?
Doing great, Coach. As always, we sincerely appreciate taking time out of your schedule to join us. Coach, a bye week for your program this past week. If you could just start us out by recapping the bye.
Well, we did exactly what everybody else do on a bye week. We went back and self-scout ourselves and to see if what we're doing wrong and what we're doing right as coaches and also as players. And do we have the right players making in the right position to make the right plays? So we was able to do that on Friday and Saturday. They had off on Sunday, and we're back to work today.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. We have several questions in the queue. Please limit your questions to one initial question. First question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Coach Dishman, good morning to you.
Mr. Wayne.
So with all the things that you mentioned in your opening comments, and then also just kind of at the tail end of last week about your evaluation of the team after 3 games, what's the preparation now for this game ahead of Mississippi Valley State on Saturday night? Just offense, defense, special teams, really special teams, because I know you talked about that too.
Well, Mr. Wayne, I'm not going to go backwards. We're going to move forward because we're a forward-thinking group. So moving forward towards Mississippi Valley, that we know they're a very tough-nosed team. T-Buck do a lot of stunting and blitzing up front that we have to be able, our offensive line have to be able to take care of. Last week of the Lamar game that we play, I'm not going to go back and talk about that game. That game's history. I can't do nothing about it anyway.
All right, Coach. Well, good luck this week against Valley.
Thank you.
Question goes to Terrence Harris.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
How you doing, Terrence?
I'm good. Hey, I want to talk to you about your linebackers. And I'm talking about Bogarty, George, and Cooks, and just kind of what are you seeing from those guys right now? I mean, the numbers look pretty positive.
Well, Bogue been in our system now almost 2.5 years, so he know exactly what to expect. We did lose Jay Will in the Prairie View game. We lost Jay Will last year in the Prairie View game, but Cook and everybody, the guys that we brought in, has stepped up and not let us miss Jay Will as much.
Okay, and what is it about Bogarty? I mean, what does he do really well that you think helps him stand out? I mean,
Well, he can play all 3 positions at back. He can go outside if you need him to. He can go inside. He can play the Mike and the Will. He can go outside and play Sam. He can put his hands in the dirt. Bogue is a very versatile player for us.
Thanks, Coach.
Question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach.
Mr. Daniels.
Coach, I would imagine that you are a very tough evaluator, especially on yourself. I'm curious to know how the evaluation of you and your coaching staff went this week. What's the grade?
Well, that's a private grade between my coaches and I. Me myself were 0 and 3, so obviously you can't get an A or A plus being 0 and 3. So you know where my evaluation of me. My evaluation of me, I'm a D, F coach right now, but I have to, and I will pick it up, and we will get better. It's not a threat or a promise, but it is a statement. We will get better, and I will pick it up to make us. I have to be on my A game each and every time.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck to you this week.
Thank you.
This question goes to Doc Holliday.
Coach Dishman, how you doing this morning?
Hey, Doc.
Not gonna go into the past. We already talked about that. We're gonna look at for the future, in the present, going into this Valley game. What are the things you were trying to do to make sure that you can keep the penalties down and work on third down efficiency on both offensive and defensive?
Well, that's what we work during the bye week. We work of guys understanding the situation and playing situation football. Sometimes our young men just go out there and play the game, but they don't understand the situation football, when they can do stuff and when they can't. So we took every situation that we had bad in our first 3 games, put it on paper, and was able to quiz our guys on it, and also went out and walked through it.
All right, appreciate you, Coach.
Thank you.
This question goes to James Hill.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everybody on campus are well. When you think about the opportunity to win a game and going into Valley and SWAC play, just talk a little bit about a great opportunity coming up this weekend.
Well, most of our SWAC games are ahead of us. We play one SWAC game, which is versus Prairie View, and the rest of our SWAC games ahead of us. So we still, our goals that we have in mind is still there, but now we're behind the 8 ball. We just have to pick it up.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
This question goes to Ernest Riggs.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Ernest, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Coach. Coach, you mentioned you needing to be on your A game moving forward. Coach, what does that look like for you?
Just I self-evaluate myself each and every time at every game. What should I've done right? What I've done wrong? And not just because we're 0 and 3. I've always done that. As a player, I've done that. I always pick what I've done right, what I've done wrong, what could I've done better. It's just me as a person.
This question goes to Terrence.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Coach, another thing about your linebacker group. I mean, as the season progresses, I mean, how dominant do you think this group can be, as they kind of develop and grow together?
Well, our linebacker group is going to be just as good as our defensive front. We got some experienced guys on defensive front. We got some experienced guys at the linebacker. Right now, our linebacker group is probably the most experienced people on the team because they've been here a while. But like I said, we're going to pick it up and play a lot better than what we're doing.
Now, why do you make the correlation between them and the defensive line group and saying that they're going to be as good as the defensive line group?
Because that's the correlation is. If your defensive line is good, then your linebacker is going to be good.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
Coach, as always, we sincerely appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
All right. Have a great one.
Yes, sir. Thank you. All right, next up, we go over to Jackson State and Coach T.C. Taylor. Once again, if you have questions for Coach, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. We already have several questions in the queue, so please limit your questions to one initial question. First question, first off, I'm sorry, Coach. Good morning to you. How you doing?
I'm good. Good morning.
Moving too fast there, Coach. As always, we thank you for taking time out of your schedule to join us. Coach, obviously this past week, a bye week for your program. If you could start us out with an opening statement, just recapping this past week.
Just a typical bye week for any program. Got some guys back healthy, try to get them up right. Getting some rep for guys, some of those backup guys, just continuing to grow the depth. And also, we got a jump start on Southern, a big conference game going on the road down there in Baton Rouge. I know Coach Graves is going to do a heck of a job getting those guys prepared. He got a lot of athletes, on that football team. So those were some of the things we were focusing on the bye week. So we geared up and ready to go for this weekend, though.
Thank you for those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Coach Taylor, good morning to you.
Good morning.
So obviously, this is not really a typical situation with Southern having changed over just schematically with the play caller and things of that nature. But in saying that, how important are you guys going to lean upon your adjustment making? More so, more so typical, or will it be kind of typical, or will it be a little bit more out of the ordinary considering the circumstances of Southern?
I think it's going to be your typical football game. I'm a big believer of whatever team can make the adjustments in a game, whether it's halftime or throughout the football game, or is going to have an opportunity to win games. They got great coaches down there. I know Coach McNair, he's former head coach. He's calling the plays now, as well as Coach Fredericks, Henry Miller, Coach Graves. I just spoke on him. So, I know those guys will be ready to go. They've had 2 weeks to prepare. The same here. We got a great coaching staff as well. So it's going to be a great chess match come this weekend.
All right, Coach. We're all looking forward to that big one down there on the Bluff Saturday night. Good luck to you.
All right. Thank you.
Next question goes to Doc Holliday.
Coach TC, how you doing this morning?
I'm good, Doc. How are you?
I'm doing good. First and foremost, happy birthday to you.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Doc.
Anytime. Last season, you came up with the quote that the train is leaving the station and there's no more tickets being sold. You're still on that time right there?
We getting there. We just ended preseason play with this football team. We still got a lot of questions out there to get answered with this football team as well. But I know when it all comes together, that's what I mean. When that train leaves the station, if either you're on board or you're off. So if you're not on, there's no catching up to it once we get the rolling.
I appreciate you, Coach.
I appreciate you, Doc. Thanks.
Next question goes to James Hill.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everybody at J State are well, and happy birthday.
All right. Thank you, James. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Coach, Southern and Jackson, this is a big-time rivalry, Blue Bloods, HBCU. Take us back to some of your greatest memories playing quarterback, playing in that series, and what it was like for you as a student athlete and a coach.
Just some of you talk about one of the biggest rivalries in the country, when you talk about Southern and Jackson State, that football game. It's a little different when you're talking about their rivalry. The Alcorn rivalry, that's like a family divided, but this is like they don't like us, we don't like them, type feel when you talk about those games. But I can think back to playing in the first ever SWAC championship game, in Birmingham. We lose to them 31-30. It's always a nail biter when those two teams come and collide. The fans going to come out and show support on both sides, whether we're in Baton Rouge or we're here in Jackson. You think about just last year, we had the opportunity to play them twice. They came to Jackson, for the first game and then the SWAC championship game. So it's going to be a great football game, a heated rivalry. Like I said, not a lot of love lost, between our fans and those fans. I do have some great friends as coaches down there with Coach Graves, Coach McNair, and Mark and all those guys, Coach Miller. But, this is conference football now. You're talking about SWAC football games now, so every one of them counts. So we got to be ready to go.
Have a good week, Coach.
Thank you. You do the same.
Question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. How you doing, Perry?
Super fantastic. Happy birthday.
I appreciate it.
Coach, talk about going into A.W. Mumford Stadium and that whole environment on the Bluff, and what do you communicate to your team about that?
Yeah. When you go over that hill, over that hump, you better have your mind right. You better be ready to play. It's can be an intimidating atmosphere down there. Their fans they can get pretty rowdy. That long walk from the locker room to get to the football field, but when we get all that, you take all of that and set aside. It's all about the football game in the end. We got to go out there and execute at a high level, but that atmosphere can be intimidating. But we got the team that's built for it. Our coaching staffs and everything. We're locked and ready to go into there and play a good football game.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Question goes to Doc Holliday.
Sorry about that. Going into the game with Southern University, you just said you just had some players kind of basically nurse some injuries and everything like that. What is the things that you see as far as trying to clean up the penalties, like we talked about last week in the coach's call after the game against Tuskegee, and moving forward?
Yeah, that's what that was a big emphasis in the bye week for us. But you just get them ready for situational football and those type of moments. You show the players and you talk to them about the mistakes they made when you see the flags on the ground, and that's about all you can do. You punish them for it and you move forward, but you don't try to dwell on it and have it on their minds when you're going into football games. You still have to go out there and play carefree football, but still at the same time be disciplined. Like I said, over 30 penalties for us in the last 3 games. That's a lot, and we know we got to be better going forward, especially with conference play starting this weekend.
I appreciate you, Coach.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Terrence Harris.
Coach, how you doing? And happy birthday.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Terrence.
Hey, I want to talk to you just a little bit more. I asked you a couple weeks ago about Quincy Ivory. What is it about him that's allowed him to play so well early?
The thing that makes him so great, he can do so many different things on the football field for you as a player. Shoot, I think we could switch him over to offense and get some production out of him. That's what kind of athlete he is. But, he can stand up and play backer. He can rush. He's a phenomenal rusher off the edge. And he's a smart football player. That's what I think the key to his success is. And then I have to say that, Coach Javancy Jones has done a great job with him. He coaches the edge guys and those outside backers. And then Coach Quinn with schematically the things and the ways he used them defensively has also made him have a very successful season up to this point.
And another quick question, quick follow-up. Now, is he available to talk to the media at this point?
Not. Let me get with our SID people and we'll see and try to make a decision on that going forward.
Okay, good deal.
Okay.
Next question goes to Dr. Cavill.
Kenyatta Cavill, Dr. Cavill, inside HBCU Sports Lab.
What's going
So
on?
I wanted to ask, hey, good morning.
All right.
I wanted to talk about the fact that you're bringing in a Black College National Championship, top 25 ranking, not number 1 HBCU ranking into this rivalry matchup. And I know that doesn't do anything on the field, but it sure makes it interesting for dialogue and talk.
Mm-hmm.
But also other teams use that, not only in this game, but I'm sure going in the rest of the games. What do you do when teams see you as the top of the mountain and you want to stay on the top of the mountain? What do you do from a coach's philosophy to settle kids down, young men and women in terms of those associated with the program of keeping the focus? How does that work for you?
I just make them understand that we're at the top for a reason and go out there and play like that. If we go out there and play up to that level of play, to that expectation, regardless of who's on the other sideline, player-wise, no matter what they're thinking, how, they come approach that football game, there won't be nothing you can do about it. And that's what I talk to our team about. If we're number 1 team in the country, let's go out there and act like it. The end of football games is determined on how they want it to look. I tell our team that all the time. However you want this football game to look, it's on you got the guys in this locker room. But we understand the expectation. We understand what come with being number 1, ranking in the FCS. But if we play our level of play, no matter what team is on the other sideline or how hard they come at us during that football game, they won't be able to do nothing about it. So we just got to play and play at a high level in all 3 phases of the football game.
Thank you, Coach. Happy birthday, and you are allowed to smile, Coach.
Appreciate it, Doc.
Question goes to TJ Brown.
Good morning. Happy birthday, Coach Taylor. How you doing?
I'm good, TJ. How you doing?
Doing all right.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate it, your time today. Just want to ask, I know Cameron McCoy, you're obviously familiar with him since he played at Jackson last year. I guess how you feel, I guess emotionally getting ready to see him for the first time and also obviously preparing in case he does play.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very proud for Cameron, able to find somewhere to, a spot to land and then also getting the opportunity to play down there at Southern. But a very special and gifted athlete. He has the talent to beat you with his arm and his legs. We have to account for him in the run game. If he gets outside the pocket with that speed he has, he's pretty much gone. It's hard to get a hand on him. So we'll do a good job of that. I know Coach Quinn and that staff has been down there, in the last couple of weeks, really putting a good plan together, whoever may be a quarterback for those guys. But very proud and happy for the success Cam is having right now.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Question goes to Kyle Mosley.
Hey, Coach. Happy birthday to you, sir.
Thank you. How you doing?
Good, good. Talk about your rushing attack, usually going on the road, and that can help stabilize an offense. And you guys had over 290 yards last week against Tuskegee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's our backbone. That's the backbone of our offense, being able to run the ball. Any team that's talking about playing for a national championship, or a conference championship, you got to be able to, control the clock and run the football. We're a team that's built like that. We got some big guys up front that really play the game well. They're coached well by Coach Ramirez on the offensive line. Our running backs run tough. They're coached well by Coach Gallen over there, the running backs coach. But we like to sustain long drives. If you look at us from last year to this year, we're able to sustain some long drives, give our defense a rest. And you talk about playing it around late November and October. Those are the teams those teams that are having success. I guarantee you they're able to run the football. No matter what defenses how many guys they put in the box, they're still able to generate, 5, 10, 10 plus yard runs. So that's something we hang our hat on here. People know we're going to do it, and we're going to come out there and make a commitment to running the football.
Okay. And have you resolved your quarterback situation at this time?
I don't think we really have a situation. We got 2 guys that can play. That's a great situation. So we're in great position right now at the quarterback position.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Have a good day.
Coach, we are actually over your time, but we got Charles Bishop that raised his hand, so we got to
let Chuck in here. Yeah, you got to let Chuck in.
How you doing, Coach?
What's up, Chuck? How you doing, man?
Quick happy birthday to you. I wanted to ask this question. A player like Kelby Gibbons is one of the more disruptive players, not just in this conference, but in the country. But any special attention that you guys really have to look at with regards to dealing with Kelby Gibbons?
Just like you said, he gets special attention. You got to know where number 1 is on the football field. He played well in both games. We played against him last year. He's playing well this year. Truly a guy that has the ability to play on the next level, Chuck. So if you're not following Kelby Gibbons where he is on the football field, I guarantee you're not having a lot of success offensively, because he can impact the game defensively at the defensive end position. So we'll keep an eye on him, and be conscious of where he's lining up at on the football field. I know Coach Miller be putting him in some different situations, trying to find some matchups for him. He's that caliber of player. So all respect to that young man, the way he plays the game from me.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate your time.
All right. Thank you.
Coach, as always, we sincerely appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week, and happy birthday.
All right. Thank you, guys. Everybody be safe. See you next week.
Thank you. All right. We now go over to Prairie View A&M and Coach Jackson. Once again, if you do have questions, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. With that being said, happy to be joined by Coach Jackson with Prairie View A&M. Good morning, or good afternoon, Coach.
Good afternoon. Sorry about my camera not being on. We just finished the State Fair Classic press conference, so we're here.
Absolutely, Coach, and we just appreciate you taking time to join us. We know it's a busy day of media interaction with you, so we do appreciate the time. Coach, if you could start us out with an opening statement recapping your team's most recent outing versus Northwestern State.
Yeah, man, we played Northwestern State this past weekend. Really felt like we started in the right manner. Even though we gave up 7 points to start the game, I thought our team's focus was a little bit different. I thought we played faster than what I had seen us play. We ended up getting in a back-and-forth battle with Northwestern State, which they were coming off 2 Power 4 teams playing. So the people don't understand the speed of the game when you're coming off playing those opponents. They actually play faster. And so I was glad our guys were able to match and exceed that and pull out a victory at home. Probably made it a little bit closer than what we wanted to at the end with just some hiccups. But ultimately, we've been in a lot of close games this year. And for us to pull it out at home, to get our first home win this year, was really big for us in our program.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. We've got over 8 questions, I believe, now in the queue. So please limit your questions from this first round to 1 initial question. If we've got time, we'll work our way back. First question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Coach Jackson, good afternoon to you. So obviously you guys did really, really well running the ball this week. 356 yards led by 180 with Chase, and then also Lamaje had 104 and 2 touchdowns on the ground. Also Tevin Carter too. So with this running game, do you think that the way you guys are running this ball, do you think that this is something that you guys can hang your hat on moving forward? Do Do you see yourselves sustaining this level of running effect moving forward, even into this week?
Yeah, well, good afternoon to you too, Wayne. And yes, we want to. Certainly, everybody stands up when they get jobs and they talk about the year and they talk about they want to be able to run the football. But we want to be one of those teams too. We want to run the football as much as we can. And I think what you saw Saturday night is ultimately what the defense gave us, we took. And then we had some guys make a lot of plays. You talked about Tevin. Tevin made a great play, made a dude miss. We had talked as a team about we were struggling to make guys miss. And I thought Saturday night we made guys miss with different people. And so a coach told me a long time ago, you achieve what you emphasize. We emphasized it all week in practice, practiced it, and it showed up on Saturday night. And actually, we believe we left some yardage out there. And Chase left some touchdowns out there. He had 180 yards, but he didn't have any touchdowns. And so anytime you're averaging 10 yards a carry and no touchdowns, we want to make sure we get the ball in the box. But if you're asking, do we want to continue this? Absolutely. I don't know a coach that wouldn't say they want to run the ball as much as they can. But we do understand people are going to start loading the box up when you see a number like that, and we're going to have to throw the box back open.
All right, Coach, good luck in that State Fair Classic down there in Dallas.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Coach, so State Fair Classic, you're going against Grambling. I know your philosophy is nameless gray faces across the sideline, but this week it's your fraternity brother.
Yep.
Talk about that program and what you've seen on film in that team.
Yeah, first of all, I got a lot of respect for Coach Joseph and his career. Talking about a guy that's been the head coach in Nebraska when we don't get those opportunities. And his family is kind of like the Bowdens. There's a Joseph everywhere in football on every level. And so we certainly have a lot of respect and admiration for his career and what he's done. And when you cut the tape on, you see what he's doing at the football program. Those guys are 3-1. Their only losses to Ohio State. The quarterback is playing at a really high level. I really like their receivers. I think those guys can run, and it's going to present some challenges for us. Defensively, their defensive coordinator has always been sound and attacked you properly, as we would say, everywhere he's been a defensive coordinator. And so I haven't had a chance to watch all the special teams tape yet. I'll do that on the way back today. But I haven't found a weak spot. And so it'll present a really good challenge for us, especially when starting the SWAC West again. We've got one game in the SWAC West, but now we're in it. And so we've had some weeks to get ourselves together, and we got a big challenge on Saturday night that we're going to have to answer.
Good luck, Coach.
Thank you.
This question goes to Doc Holliday.
Coach Jackson, good afternoon to you. Welcome to Dallas.
Afternoon. Thank you.
Tell us about the play of Tevin Carter as he been put in the spotlight as far as being the starter. What are the things that you like that you see from him, and what do you tell him as far as when the game comes, letting the game come to him?
Yeah, every snap Tevin Carter takes is something new, right? Like Tevin Carter, when he played against Rice, it was his first start overall. When he played against Northwestern State, it was his first FCS start. And so now we walk into a situation where he's gotten better, but he's still got a ways to go. And Tevin Carter is older. He has a degree, but he's still young when it comes to experience. And everybody wants to know where our quarterback situation is. We're gonna play two quarterbacks. Like, it ain't no secret anymore. We're gonna play multiple guys. We're gonna play whoever helps us get the job done that day. And I like where Cam is still waiting in the wings, and he's been ready to go. And so Tevin is young. He made some mistakes the other night. But I think we got a room where we got a couple of guys that can play for us, that have played for us, and we got to be able to use that to our advantage.
All right, appreciate your time, Coach.
Thank you.
Question goes to Terrence Harris.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Good afternoon.
Hey, and speaking of, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the rushing attack and also just kind of what Tevin, what does he add, his legs add to that whole dynamic of your rushing offense?
Yeah, I think anytime you have a quarterback that we call it the +1 run game, anytime you can add the quarterback into a run fit, creates a issue for defenses. Seeing that my whole career as a defensive guy, you always cut the tape on and want to know if the quarterback can run. Is he a scrambler or is he a pocket passer? And if he can run, man, you got some issues on your hands, because that means he can get himself out of bad situations. And in addition to the +1 run game with design runs. And so he provides that, but our rushing attack has to be that with or without him. We want to be able to run the football. Our rushing attack they would have rushed for over 200 had Tevin Carter not even been there that day. And so we want to make sure we're doing that. If you look at places that we've been, the rushing attack has always been good for us. And it's taken us a little longer in the season to get it going. But hopefully now we can be consistent with it and not just be a one-hit wonder from Saturday night.
Okay, thanks.
Next question goes to James Hill.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everybody in your program are well. Talk a little bit about this State Fair Classic, Grambling and Prairie View. This is a big deal, 100 years. This is a special game.
Yeah, Mr. Hill, I just got off a stage where I was blown away with the amount of history, the amount of pageantry that goes into this game. I've never attended the game. Last year I watched the game after we played. I sat on the couch and watched 5 overtimes of Prairie View beating Grambling last year. And so to be here in the moment right now, special. I mean, you're talking about a guy like Eddie Robinson, sat up on the same stages, talked about the same game, and that's one person we aspire to be like. And so I think it'll be a really good game for our fans and for our alums, but it is a really big game for us. And it like Coach Joseph just said on the stage, it determines who can talk about the West. We're up 1 in the West right now because we opened up with 1. But they're a really good football team. And so we got to battle it out. And how the West was won comes to mind because it goes through both of these institutions. And we're excited about getting our opportunity in front of what we believe is going to be a really large crowd and in sunny South Dallas on Saturday night.
Thank you, Coach. Have a great week.
You too.
Coach, know you're traveling. We'll try to wrap it up quickly with 2 final questions. First one goes to Dr. Cavill.
Kenyatta Cavill, Dr. Cavill's inside the HBCU Sports Lab.
Yep.
I was going to talk a little bit about the history, but you went into it, so I'm glad that you got there. So I want to talk about your defensive side of the ball. Against your FCS competition, they're giving up an average of 24 points a game. Can you give some overall thought in terms of how your defense is coming along and your expectations of how it looks in this particular matchup?
Yeah, 24 is a little bit too much for us. We like to be 17 or less. We feel like under 17 or less gives us an opportunity to win every game. So we're trying to find a way to cut 7 or more off of there. And it starts with explosive plays. We've let some explosive plays happen. There was a 3rd and 15 in the game the other day. It's just off the safety's fingertips. We're sitting in a set and a coverage, and he threw it off his ear. We thought he should have picked it, ended up falling in the guy's hand, and he's scoring a touchdown. We've got to eliminate that. If we can eliminate that, the pass in the back of the end zone against UTR-GV, the pass interference that led to a touchdown against Texas Southern, if we can eliminate those things that led to touchdowns, then we'll be right where we want to be. And it all starts with stopping the run, not allowing them to get rhythm in the run game. But I'll tell you this too, Doc, it starts with our special teams unit. We've struggled a little bit on kickoff. We've had to go fix those issues. I think we got a good plan for it this week. And we gotta make sure that we start in the right position. If you look at those FCS games you mentioned, if we start in the middle of the field on the plus side, we give up a touchdown. If we start backed up behind the 30, we don't give up a touchdown. So it's really simple on how to fix it based off the data that we have. And we've got to do a really good job as coaches to put them in that position.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck this weekend. Look forward to the matchup.
Thanks, Doc.
Last question goes to Charles Porter.
Yeah, Coach, real quick, congratulations on a great win over the weekend. Everybody in Waller County that's got some purple is wearing it on yesterday in commemoration for the Panthers. I tell you, that 75 vehicle motorized brigade that brought the Panthers in was great on Saturday. Everybody's talking about the running back room, and you've been talking about it. They get straight A's this weekend. Tell us how you were able to keep those guys encouraged and keep those guys energized throughout the whole game. I mean, they were great the whole game.
Yeah, I think, those guys love each other, and that's a team deal for us. And it starts with the seniors that were here. And those guys have done a really good job of incorporating our brand of football in through the rest of the team. If the guys that were here will buy in, normally the new guys go, okay, if they like it, we'll jump into it. And I've been very impressed with the way our team has went about merging our culture together and getting those things handled internally in the locker room. And so I think you saw that from the running back room. The one thing I really like about those guys is Chase Bingham at the post-game press conference talked about how he couldn't wait till Lamage. He was happy for Lamage. Lamage wanted Chase to be there. They wanted Brandon Campbell to get in the mix. He kind of had a small injury, so we held him. And they complement each other. I think that's fed by their coach, Coach Fed. And they do a really good job offensively. Coach Buck trusted them, and those guys were able to perform at a high level. Now, the key is going to be, can you be consistent? Can you do it again? Or are you a one-hit wonder? And we talk about that as a football program. And so we look forward to this week to seeing what they can do, because we know Grambling State is going to have a really good plan.
Yeah, real quick too, Coach. Defensively, Trevor Randall was great with 14 tackles, and Sterling Roberts also, they did a great job on Saturday.
Yeah, no, those two guys are two older guys. Sterling was with us about Austin. Trevor came over from Louisiana Monroe. He's a good tackler. I think we got him in the right position.
Good luck this week, Coach.
Thank you.
Coach, sincerely appreciate your time. Sorry for going over. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
Thank you. Go Panthers.
Yes, sir. Thank you. All right, we're going to wrap it up with Coach Joseph with Grambling State. Once again, if you do have questions for Coach, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. Please wait to be acknowledged asking your question. With that being said, happy to be joined by Coach Joseph. Good afternoon, Coach.
How you guys doing?
Doing great, Coach, and thank you for taking time out of your schedule to join us. We know you are having a busy day with the press conference. Coach, if you could start us out with an opening statement, just recapping your team's most recent victory this past week, Coach.
Well, just a tough outing. We had to fight to the end. You had to play 60 minutes. We always talk to the boys about focus and finish and blocking out the noise and not looking at the scoreboard. We did a great job complimenting football. We complimented football. We had a great time. Just working as a group with the coaches. And we didn't have that last year where we worked together as coaches. But this year we worked together as coaches. We was able to pull it out. So I take my hat off to my players and to my coaches who did an excellent job to fight back after a 14-0 deficit, fight back and win that football game.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Hey, Coach Joseph, hope the blood pressure has come down after Saturday and last week.
2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, so my question for you this week is, obviously you guys are getting ready to start SWAC play, and you guys are getting ready to play a rival, but a rival that ran for 356 last week. So just the way you guys are preparing this week, how much is rush defense at the how important is rush defense, or is it like the number one focus of your preparation this week on defense against Prairie View?
Absolutely, because people have success running the football on us. So we, like Coach Jackson said, we also have to fix some things in our defensive box, just to make sure that we have gap integrity and that we have everything gapped out. So, I met Coach Rollins and met with the defensive coaches yesterday before I left. So they've been on it. We got to go back to your individual. When a kid's not doing it in the game, go back to your individual and see, did you work it in individual? Did you work it in 9-on-7? So we got to do a better job, because we know they're going to run the football, and they do a great job of getting a hat on a hat. They got some excellent backs, and then they have the quarterback, 21 Trey, that can also pull the ball down and run. So it's a very dangerous team when they're running the football. So, we got to make sure we got every gap covered, and we got to make sure that we gap sound.
All right, Coach, good luck to you guys this week. Good to talk to you again.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Doc Holliday.
Coach Joseph, how you doing today?
Doc, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Welcome to sunny South Dallas.
Oh, yeah.
Coming out the win against East Texas A&M. Tell us about Byron Eaton Jr. And what he brings to you as a true freshman on your team.
Well, he's a Dallas kid. He played quarterback in high school, so we brought him in there. We wanted to redshirt him and get some more pounds on him. But he has a high football IQ. but he was a running quarterback in high school, and we thought when he got him here that, hey, let's watch him and see if he can play running back. If not, maybe he can play defensive back. But the first time he touched the ball, he showed us that that's what he can do, and that's his natural position. And Brian Eaton's a pro. He's a pro, but he's a tough-nosed kid out of Dallas. He's got a high football IQ because of the quarterback background, and he wants the ball every play. He wants the ball every play, and I tell him, I say, I'm going to run you 20, 25 times when I have to. If not, we got to do this by committee. But he's a great kid that we love, that we happy that we have. We redshirted 21 of them last year. And they all back and they all playing this year. He was one of the 21s, was a very talented freshman class. But Eaton can't do anything but just get better. I just hope I have enough money to keep him.
I remember watching his dad play football and basketball here in Dallas. But thank you for your time. Go ahead and get your turkey leg out there.
Hello?
Thank you for your time, Coach.
They're not saying it.
Next question goes to James Hill.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everyone in Dallas are well. Can you hear us now?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Hey, Coach, the State Fair Classic, 100 years. You've seen it before. You're there. Talk about the importance of this game and this big-time rivalry against Prairie View.
You got to be out to play in the 100-year anniversary. It's something that you're going to remember for the rest of your life. Mr. Walsh does a great job with this game. This atmosphere, this game is unbelievable. And I think, when I speak out to fans and speak to family members, they have such a good time. They're looking forward. I just had a family member just text me and say he needs 6 tickets. So, it just atmosphere. This game is a lovely setting. But you know what? You got 2 competitive teams. You have 2 competitive teams. This the highs of the highs of SWAC football. So you got to come out and enjoy yourself and watch 2 teams compete. But it's a great atmosphere.
Thank you. Have a great week.
Thank you.
This question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good afternoon, Coach.
Perry, how you doing?
Super fantastic, Coach. What a great football game this past weekend. For the second year in a row, that game has come down to the last possession. So I hope that contest continues moving forward. But what I'd like to ask you today is about Xavion Tset's play. For the second week in a row, he has driven your team down the field near the end of the game for a game-winning score. Can you talk about his play and his desire to win?
What we ever saying in Xavier Trust. Zay had to come in from a rival school, and he had to come in and he had to win the locker room. He came in the spring, and we put him in competition. We put him in competition in the summer. We put him in competition in fall camp and leading up to the games. Zay has won the job. He's doing a great job. This is his team right now. The kids respect him. We're happy to have him, and he can't do anything but get better. People don't understand. He's only a sophomore, but not a whole bunch of reps. He's only a sophomore, but it's a little different playing quarterback at Grambling than anywhere else, because as soon as you play good, they want to compare you to Doug, So he's a humble kid. He comes from a great family. We're happy to have Zay. Zay's got a high football IQ, and what Zay has that grit. Zay has that grit that most quarterbacks don't have. Like you see when he ran the ball, he dropped his shoulder. Now, the only person in the screen in our sideline was saying "get down" was me. Everybody else was saying "good job, Zay" when I said "get down." But we happy to have Zay. Zay's a great part of the Grambling family, and he's going to do great things here.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck this week.
Thank you.
Last question goes to Dr. Cavill.
Dr. Cavill's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Good afternoon, Coach.
Good afternoon. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I want to say congratulations on the win last week. I want to ask you a question from. Oh, you're very welcome. I want to ask you a question from this perspective of all the football that you coached, been a part of, and seen. I imagine you've experienced games like that. But what does it talk about in terms of a team? I know you love the coach teams that have that mindset, that fight to the end and find a way to get it done no matter what others are looking at and what's taking place. But I'm not sure if you can teach that. Is that something that comes with you want to recruit kids that have that mindset and some that tend to have it? What does that say in terms of the culture of a program that finds a way to fight through challenging situations and push forward to get some victory?
Well, with the day and age of college football, you got to set a culture, and a culture can't. The culture can't move. You can't say, hey, we're not going to do this anymore. Once the culture that is set, just like the offense, our offense, no matter who sits in that chair as offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator, those schemes won't change. But right now, I thought we went out and got older kids. And for my background being playing big games like this, so we talk about blocking out the noise, and it's a business trip because we have I want to say what 41 seniors, and I think 31 of them already have degrees, so that's my approach. And I know people say you're giving it away. No, I want all these young men to be successful. If they can't play at Grambling, they can play somewhere else. Because when they go to school and get a college degree and they have 1 year left, I target those kids because that tell me one thing about those kids. Education is important to them. They got a high football IQ because they started something and finished something. So I target those kids, and when those kids come in, they know right now they're gonna compete, but they're gonna get on the field right away. So I think when we went and got older in the portal, we didn't go out with kids who have 2 or 3 years, because what happened with kids with 2 or 3 years, so you go walk in the door, they want 150,000. These kids graduated already. They're about to get on in life. Some of them not going to play in the NFL, so they want to play at Grambling. So we welcome them. Like I said, we didn't get these kids with a whole bunch of NIL money. We got these kids on relationships. So we got older in the portal, but we picked the right kids. It was certain kids that we was going to take.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it. Good luck this
Thank
weekend
you.
to the matchup.
Appreciate you.
Coach, appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you again next week.
Okay, thank you, and good luck to all you guys this week.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
All right, this concludes our SWAC Football Head Coaches Media Session for Monday, September 22nd. And just a reminder, all SWAC Football Head Coaches Media Sessions are digitally archived on SWAC TV. Thanks so much. Have a great day.
Thank you.